How's it going, guys? Jackson here at the Toasty Bros, and today we're going to be doing our mid-range gaming PC. Hope you guys enjoy. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and name off the parts that we got for this build. So powering this build is going to be the Corsair 430. Next, we decided to go with something a little new. So this is the RX 470. It's between the 460 and the 480, but it has 4 gigs of GDDR5 RAM. Or VRAM, which is pretty awesome for kind of like a mid-range card, but this is kind of up there with the 380 or an R9 380, which is what's in my build. Mine's the 2G model, so it's supposed to be a little bit better than that, so that's pretty nice, and that's a pretty good card. Then we have this really sweet OCZ, I think it's VX500, so it's 500 gigs, really big SSD. It's OCZ/Toshiba now because, as you know, Toshiba bought out OCZ, or vice versa. I think it's Toshiba though. We have a Corsair H60 to kind of keep up the Corsair type theme, and this is a really good cooler to work great for overclocking, which with this processor that you're going to see, you're going to want to overclock it a little bit. 2 sticks of G-Skill Ripjaws RAM at 1600 MHz. It's DDR3, it's a little bit older, but it's really going to work well for this build because we have a little bit of an older processor and board. Alright, so this board is an MSI Z77A G45. It's a little bit of an older board, but it's actually a really good board. For the processor, we have an i7-3077K, so that's a pretty good processor. It's a little bit older, but of course, it's very good. It still competes with a lot of the newer i7s, and for this build, it's going to be absolutely perfect. And then for the case, which I'm going to show you in just a second, we have these pretty old cold cathodes. They're just blue, on-off switch, the little ballast resistor, or whatever this is supposed to do. And they've actually been used before. They're out of my build, and I don't need them anymore, so I'm going to put them in this one, but I'm going to make them look good. And lastly, for the case, we have this Enthoo Pro case. So I looked it online, and this thing looks absolutely awesome. I'm getting ready to unbox it so you guys can see it, and you guys are going to love it. So without any more waiting, let's go ahead and start building this PC. So this is definitely a unique case. It's, I mean, so sleek looking. You can kind of see through it in the front. The camera can see definitely a lot better than I can. But yeah, I mean, just super sleek design. You can see it has this little magnetic, like massive, I guess that's 360 millimeter spot for fans and coolers or whatever you might need. They have these, nice grommets, the place for your power supply to go. It looks like another dust filters up front. The fans have really nice color to them, and I'm sure they're going to sound very quiet and amazing. The back, very nice looking, and of course it's cageless, except for up top you got one little spot for a DVD drive, which I really like that they included that. Now, one thing that I really like about this case that I've never seen before is the fact that they actually covered up everything as far as the front panel goes. But look at this, the whole entire panel see. I'm not going to take this off yet because I don't want to risk scratching it. And it's really weird. This one actually has 4 screws up top, which I've never seen before, but you learn new things every day when you get a nicer, newer case like this. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and install the motherboard. Now, what I usually suggest doing is, if you do have a air-cooled CPU cooler, then I would go ahead and put that on your processor and everything, and go ahead and have that plugged in, have your processor in the board like mine is now. It'll just make life a lot easier for you. Alright, so next step I usually like to take is putting the power supply in right after you get the motherboard in. So we're going to have to actually go through the back here, and then have the back of the power supply face here. Okay, so I decided to face the Corsair power supply. Got face down as far as the fan goes, just because they include this nice little dust cover that you can remove, and because the logo sits really nicely right there, and since we're going to have that big glass panel, that'll look really good. Alright, so now we got the power supply in place and the motherboard in. We got the bracket for the Corsair H60 on there. Now we're going to go ahead and find a mounting point for the water block fan, and we got to make sure that this will go on the right direction and all that. Okay guys, so I already went ahead and plugged in the interface stuff for the front of the case, like the power switch and all that, and then I have the USB 3.0 plugged in. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and put in the RAM, and also you can see I got the liquid cooler all set up and everything. Okay, RAM is in place. Now let's go ahead and put in the graphics card. We'll have to remove probably 2 of these slots. More than likely it'll take up 2. It'll take up 1 PCI slot, and then it's gonna more than likely have some type of external power going to it, but let's find out. Check out the sheer awesomeness of this 470. Yeah, this thing's pretty nice looking. I really like the back of it. And you can see we got all of these display ports. We have let's see, 2 HDMI, 2 DisplayPort, and 1 DVI. No VGA because that's way too outdated for this card. And then we have LED mode switch, and I had no clue about that, and I'm really excited to see what that does. Okay, graphics card is installed and looking great. We do have a external power requirement. It looks like it is a 8-pin, so let's see if we got that. Alright, so we got the typical PCIe, which has a 6 plus 2 pins, so that's going to cover our 8-pin that needs to go on the back of this. Next, for this OCZ drive, we're going to need a SATA for data transfer, and then we're going to need one of these, which is the actual SATA power, and then we're going to mount it somewhere along the lines of back here somewhere. I haven't figured out where yet, but we'll figure it out. Alright guys, I just wanted to take a minute to show you just how like amazing this thing already looks. I'm really digging this SAPPHIRE logo. How you can change it to be like pulsating, which is I believe what it's on right now. Yeah, see, there it goes, kind of off and on. I mean, yeah, it looks awesome, and I can't wait to put these blue cathodes in there, even though they kind of look dumpy, but I'm going to try and hide all the cables and make them look good. Okay, so now I got the lights mounted kind of where I want them, so I'm going to go ahead and start trying to hide some cables, do some cable management with some zip ties, and see how everything turns out. Alright guys, so here's the computer in all its glory. Let me go ahead and turn off this light up to the side so we can get rid of all that reflection. As you can see, this acrylic is like, oh my god, my light fixture almost fell on me. The acrylic on this is like super bright. It reflects everything. I mean, it's very clean, but it did come with a lot of dust on it. When I say it's clean, I kind of take that back because they use this really, I guess maybe it's more efficient. It's almost like paper with an adhesive on the back, and it just left all of this like dust there, and it's gonna be like impossible to get off. I already tried using like a microfiber, probably to try and blow it off. Maybe that'll work, but I don't know. So check out the top though. Here's a little glowing power button, USB 3.0 on the side, and then there's audio jacks, and I think that's the reset switch. But yeah, this thing turned out really nice looking. I actually really like the placement that I kind of had to put the cathodes in. I really couldn't put them anywhere else, or else they'd be like even more visible than they are now. Let's see what it looks like with the cathodes off. Yeah, not quite as crazy looking, so we'll leave those on for now. But yeah, this thing turned out really good, and you know, I hope you guys enjoyed this little kind of like build guide, kind of not build guide. You know, we have plenty of build guides, so I figured this would be more of like a just fun, you know, mid-range computer build, because we haven't done one that's, I guess you could say, this nice looking in a while, so it's good to switch things up a little bit. Leave some comments on what you guys thought, and by the way, I don't have the I/O cover, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to notice that, and a lot of you guys are going to get on me for it and be like, oh my god, you forgot the I/O cover. Yeah, I don't have it. This board is older, and yeah, I just don't have it. Of course, it doesn't matter. We are going to sell this PC, but it's going to be sold at like a super discounted price, so don't worry about that. So we hope you guys enjoyed this video, and leave a thumbs up if you liked it, and we'll see you guys later.